Yo, 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 what is good? Welcome to another episode of Player Life. It is the 26th episode, getting up there. So it's Wednesday, the 2nd of December, um, here in Tokyo, coming into the last stretch of 2020. Let's hope that 2021 is a better year. Well, it's been a good year for some people, but hopefully things open up and become less draconian and less authoritarian in 2021. But I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure if that will happen. But what can you do? What is good? The heady time traveler. How are you, bro? What is good? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Nighttime here in Tokyo, but it's all good. It's all good. Where are you based? The heady time traveler. Where are you at? Yeah. So today I was listening to an audiobook by, let's see, it's an audiobook. It's called Sex at Dawn. It's a friend of mine recommended it to me. It's about it's about the evolution of human sexuality, and obviously, I've only gotten, I think, I've only gotten an hour into it, and I have a lot more to go. I have like 8 more hours to go, but it just got me thinking about monogamy in the West. So I thought I'd just talk about it, because I think I look around and I see monogamy as a thing of the past. Um, you know, I just don't I don't see. I look around at my people I grew up with, and people I went to school with, and very few people are married or have children. The number is very it's few and far between. It's very rare case if I know someone who has kids, and I'm 32. But let me just share this live stream on Instagram, and I'll get back to the topic then. Tahiti Time Traveler says, "My bad, bro. I'm from Northern Illinois, but I am over the road trucker. Currently in Iowa, heading to San Diego." Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Cool. Christian Maticio in the house. What is good? Hola, amigo. Let me just share this. Yes. So yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know about many other countries, but even in Japan, people are still, women in Japan are still way more, way more feminine, and they still want to, they still would like to lock down a guy for marriage. But in Japan, there's different kind of economic weird reasons for people not having children. But in the West, it's more like just men and women are tired of each other. Troy Francis in the house. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Let's indulge in the degeneracy. I'm a big fan of Troy's kind of philosophy on on the state of the West and how we should just all enjoy the decline. I agree wholeheartedly with Troy's outlook. Let me just share this. Okay. Yeah, so you know, it seems to be a very good book, Sex at Dawn. I, like I said, I've only gotten an hour into it, but I don't agree with everything. But it's it seems to be like a scientific breakdown on the evolution of humans and how we have evolved to our debate the difference in mating strategies between men and women. And from what I've gotten from it so far is that when we lived in smaller hunter-gatherer tribes, we were way more promiscuous. It was kind of like communist kind of small groups, basically nomadic groups and tribes. And people would basically have orgies. Maybe not necessarily orgies, but paternity was not necessarily known. And I'm not sure if I heard before somewhere that, although we don't, you can't tell what happened. You don't know what really happened in society thousands and thousands of years ago. Apparently through DNA studies, they can have a greater insight into things. But yeah, I don't know. It's I just don't really care personally if if monogamy goes out the window, because especially if you're if you're a player, if you're living this kind of life, it's just you get very kind of jaded with the idea of monogamy. It's just not something that you have a kind of epiphany moment when you realize that being loyal to being monogamous to one woman is entirely almost impossible. I mean, and even if it is possible, it's torturous. I mean, guys refer to their wife as the ball and chain. Guys joke about it when they talk about getting married. They're like, oh yeah, it's the end. It's the start of the end or whatever. And it's true, because deep down guys know that they're giving up a huge part of their reason to be alive. The male imperative is to spread the seed. And Christianity, even probably before Christianity, but especially since Christianity, we have built up this fairy tale idea of being loyal, that humans are some kind of monogamous ape, which we're clearly not. We know deep down we're not. Well, not even deep down, we know, but most people aren't able to accept it. People just kind of are afraid of the idea of not necessarily polygamy, but they just don't like the idea, like trad cons, like guys that believe in the family unit. And the idea that we're not innately monogamous, scares a lot of people. But it's like the reality is like we're definitely not uh, a monogamous species. It's kind of if you think about how society. I think monogamy was necessary to build is necessary to build a society. I think it's one of those things that in a way society's unnatural. Humans were maybe never supposed to expand this much, but I mean so many things are unnatural. I mean penicillin, medicine, all these medicines, all these chemicals, all these things are, you know, humans are like a domesticated, kind of animal. We've become, we've evolved, to become something kind of unnatural, just because we've become so soft with all these kinds of technologies, um, and medicines that prolong our lives and things like that. And you know, but you know, as I said, I think monogamy was necessary to build societies, but that doesn't mean it's actually natural for us to do it. It's actually, if you're a if you're a hot-blooded male, you'll know that monogamy is completely unnatural. It feels like, especially if you're really if you're a healthy male, like you'll know that, and you have some game, you'll know that no matter how hot your partner or your girlfriend or your wife is, it doesn't matter if she's a perfect 10. After 1 year, if you've been going at it, if you've been doing the deed, if you've been going at it, you will be looking at the assistant in the convenience store, with more lust than the girl that you used to perceive as a 10. This is a fact. This is, you know that's just it, and that's the reality of it. Um, yeah, the heady time traveler says, extremely torturous. Indulge, exactly. Life is short. I mean, and really, at a base level, we are programmed. Our brains are like, one of the greatest pleasures in life is sex, and you know obviously you should have more going on than the pursuit of sex, but in reality, everything is revolves around the pursuit of sex. Even if you're trying to, develop your money muscles on game, money muscles, what are you doing it for? You're obviously doing it to attract more females. um why are you going for that promotion? Why are you studying? Why are you getting up in the morning? Why did you cut your hair? Why did you, why did you have a shower? It's everything. If you break it down, it's just to make sure, to make yourself a more valuable male, to increase the chances of sex. It's just it. Um, Winston in the house. What is good? What is good? Um, what is good, guys? So yeah, I just think it's the monogamy is gone, out the window, and it's you can debate about how, if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but for society it's probably a bad thing, but you're not going to change the tide. You're not. What, are you going to be the hero? You're going to, like, want to become a tradcon and fight against the tide, or you're just going to indulge in what's kind of, are you just going to go roll with the punches? I mean, and it's not necessarily a bad thing to give up monogamy. Um, I know I could never ever be monogamous as long as I remain a healthy a healthy man. The only way I could not remain uh, the only way I could not remain the only way I could remain monogamous is if I was if I was unable to, if I was not interested in sex. That's I just can't see um any other any other way. If I got seriously ill and I just and if I had a girlfriend and I just wasn't able to pursue other women. And this is why a lot of guys actually do well, not necessarily because they're sick or anything, but it's because they have that blue pill mentality where they don't see themselves being able to get another woman so easily because they have no game. They think they're so lucky to have actually hooked up with a girl. So to actually have a girlfriend, these low. Sometimes they might not even necessarily be low value guys, but it's just that they've really swallowed that kind of blue pill. They've just swallowed that blue pill that the Disney-esque kind of she's the only one for me. Uh, it's kind of a brainwashing. It is a brainwashing. It's definitely is a brainwashing. Like Disney movies are definitely a blue pill for Western society. Um, you know, just constant progress, constant, just become a unit, procreate. You know, just have one woman for forever. It's it's there's it's the only way you could be attracted to the same woman like over years, like over anything more than 2 years, and if you're still like you're still extremely attracted to the girl, that's you're doing very well then. You can still appreciate, you might still be able to appreciate that she's attractive, but you'll be so used to everything, like the scent, the smell, the shape, the feel, the touch. You'll be used to the process of having sex with that particular individual. Um, and you can, people go to all the, people go to marriage counseling, like, trying to figure out why they're not, they've lost that spark. And it's like, there's no marriage. You can go and you can get whips and chains, and you can get into, you can indulge in weird fetishes and everything, but no, it's only, even that's just going to work for a bit, at the end, there's nothing will take away. There's only one thing, there's only one remedy, and that is a new chick, a new body. Let's be blunt about it. Just something new, a new scent. We're animals, and we're made to. That's what guys are made to do. We're made to spread the seed. That's why, sperm is so plentiful. We just can reproduce it. That's why guys are constantly horny. If you're a healthy man, you should be constantly horny. You should be. These people going around saying, "Oh, you must have some sex addiction." No, you're normal. You're normally, you're healthy. You should be constantly horny. Not one of these, like, people down in their basements, like, becoming fat slobs, and then every time they do get horny, they jerk off watching, porn or whatever, just killing their libido with junk food and just becoming slobs, and throw the ideology on top of that, the progressivism, where they believe men and women are all the same, we're all equal. And you need you need to understand the dynamics. You need to understand that men, like I said, men are always on. Like, if you're healthy and you have you're eating your greens and you're eating your meat and you're getting exercise, you should be horny like every day. You should be. Guys that say they they say, oh, I'm getting old, like, yeah, once a week would be enough for me or something. You're sick. You're not healthy. You need something wrong with you. If um, honestly, you should be able to have sex every single day. I'm not saying it's not practical for some people, but if having sex once a week for you is like, and I mean, it satisfies most people, but if you were like actually kind of not, if you just bust a nut once a week and you're not horny for the rest of the week, then you're not that, there's something up, your libido is very low. Um, you should be constant once a day should be piece of cake. But you know uh Christian says, even if you wanted to be monogamous, there is no one rather than there are ones that you could be attracted to and stand personality wise. Right. Yeah. So you know, the thing is, yeah, there's no one. Like, this is what Rolo Tomasi wrote about this. There is no one. That was one of the Rolo's essays, I guess, that kind of red pilled me regarding relationships. I was dating a Korean chick at the time. I was in between being red pilled and blue pilled. I was kind of on the fence, and when I read that, it made me realize, like, what the hell, like, there's absolutely no way. I'm like, I knew deep down that I couldn't be, just with one. I can't just be monogamous to one chick. It's just impossible. I mean, like I said, there was nothing wrong with me. I was like I had an extremely high libido, but after dating someone for a year and a half, like I said, you're just constantly, you're constantly looking for something new. Jesus, my bumble's annoying me now. My bumble's actually annoying the shit out of me. I'm getting like, it's buzzing. It's buzzing so much. I have so many. Geez, Bumble just, I don't know. It's just, I've never had a dating app that has worked this well. I just have literally, I have too many, I have too many, I have too many matches and I haven't replied to them all, and they're just like buzzing off. It's like annoying the shit out of me. But yeah, I don't know. When dating apps, if you get your online dating right, it can be very, very good. The heady time traveler says, monogamy is a prison. I'm good on that noise. Yeah, monogamy is a prison that tries to control men. It's all about trying to, like, put men in their place and give women the resources, because they want men to be there to pay for the children, and this is what it is, beta provider kind of thing. So there's the idea that it's not just an idea. I think it's a scientific idea, but so women will search for the beta provider when she wants to have kids, but she'll still be trying to, her instinct, she'll be able to she might be able to control it, but her instinct, her natural desire will be to procreate with the square-jawed Chad, the guy that she knows maybe will not be able to provide, or will not provide for her offspring. Ideally, obviously, she's going to want to find the square-jawed Chad that will provide for her, but at the same time, she will understand that it's better to, to find a provider first of all, and a guy that kind of passes the requirements, um, as partner material, but not necessarily the square jawed Chad that she would like to procreate with. Um, and it's it's just very valuable to understand that women absolutely do have sexual desire, but not like men. We're told, progressives will try and lie to us about, when men and women are exactly the same. No, we're not. We're not even close. We're not even close. It's so crazy that we even have to debate about this, because we know that like our objectives are different. Uh, for one to succeed, the other has to fail in a way. But um, it's just so obvious. I mean, there's been studies done that have shown. I can't refer to the which one exactly it was, but they talked about it in this audiobook I'm listening to. So they went to a campus, and a man approached 100 women, and said, "Oh, I've noticed you around campus before. I think you're very attractive. Would you like to sleep with me tonight?" And 100% of the women said no. 100%. Then they did it where 100 women approached guys and said, "I've noticed you around campus. I think you're very attractive. Would you like to sleep with me tonight?" And 75% of men said yes, absolutely. And 25% said they had to check basically they have to have a rain check, but they didn't. Basically, none of them, apparently none of them said no. It was like 75% outright yes, and 25% or something said, yeah, we'll have to check the schedule or something. But 75%, look how massive a difference that is. Like 0 women to like 75%. So we all know these kind of things innately, but the thing is, when you hear a study like that, you might think, oh, women have actually, no interest in sex, or like it's just they're just not really interested in it. And then you got to understand that it's just their biology is different. They are interested in sex, but they don't have that drive. Like men literally have a factory in their balls, like making a substance that needs to be distributed, let's just say. you know um so we don't go into heat. Guys don't go into heat, but women, apparently, they say women don't go into heat, but they kind of do when they ovulate. um when women are There's been studies done that have shown when women are ovulating, when they're fertile, when they release their eggs, they're way hornier. So I don't know why that's not considered heat. I don't know. Is it? I don't know why that's not considered. They don't call it heat, but other people call it. It's technically heat if you think about it. I mean, they're fertile, um, and when they did studies on it, the women's behavior is way different. They're actually way more promiscuous when they release their eggs, when they're ovulating. They've done studies where strippers, even in strip clubs, uh, make more money when they're ovulating, because they're just they're feeling randier. They're just and that's just the way it is. And we all know this. So when innately we know these kind of things, but we have to kind of talk them over and understand them, because if you can understand these kind of things, it's just gonna help your game. uh when if you go on a date, if you go on a date with a girl that's not ovulating, she might be way less likely to have sex with you. Who knows? I mean, you can't there's almost no point really in thinking too much about that, because you can't know, you can't really know if she is, so you just roll with it. But it can be, it can explain some things, or even if if a girl isn't ovulating, but she still chooses to have sex with you, she probably sees you as a very attractive dude, or a guy that she doesn't want to pass up the chance of possibly having a relationship with. So she's willing to put out, uh, even though she's not feeling so horny. That's just you know and then you could go on a date with a girl that is ovulating, and it'll just be a piece of cake. um you know girls that probably have one night stands, that come, that are out and about, out in clubs and bars. When they do choose to have a one night stand, they're probably, I'd say that the chances that they're ovulating is far higher. um Know your worth. Good day, good day, good day. We are dirty dogs indeed. We are dirty dogs indeed. Um, yeah, so Winston says, yeah, LOL, all girls are single. Yeah, I mean, or single, are definitely not married. Girls that are my age, girls that I grew up with, I don't know. I don't really even, but just from seeing on, the Facebook. I still have a Facebook, and I kind of, I can see that most of them are not. I don't stalk them. I don't really care. But from what I see, I don't see any pictures of the babies. I don't see marriage. I don't see any kind of signs that any chicks that back in Ireland have gotten married, or even are close to having a child or anything like that. That's not normal. That's like, I'm 32, like they're 32. So, back in the day, that's old. Like, I mean, I'm 32. I don't feel old. I feel like I'm in my 20s, but to be pushing out, a kid, that is, you need to be young and healthy to do that. MLD in the house. What is good? It's MLD's birthday today. MLD, Boston D Streets, 35, living large in Tokyo. Living large. Yeah, 35. It's a good time. Good time for MLD. Um, Boston D Streets in Tokyo, for sure. So happy birthday to MLD. We're gonna get lit. It's gonna have another house party. It's gonna be a good time. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, MLD 35, and he's bossing these streets around Tokyo. But like a 35-year-old woman and a 35-year-old man are completely different things. It's just like, if a woman at 25 pushes out, has a kid, it'll be far easier for her to bounce back from it. But if a 35-year-old woman is even able to have kids, if she's even able to get pregnant at that stage, then even if she does have it, then if you compare before and after, it's like the reverse of a renovation. It's like the house is in a mess before, and then it gets renovated and it's all done up. It's like the reverse of that. So the woman, will have a kid at 35, and she'll age like 10 years just because it's that kind of um it's just it's a big toll on the body. um you know it's just yeah, let's see. Yeah, I need to see. I'll do that. Yeah, MLD says the West is dying. That is definitely for sure. Um, it's just obvious that it's dying because I don't know. We've just we've given up on the idea of you know having the nuclear family. And like I said, the idea of having a nuclear family is good for society, but it's not. Hmm, I'm not going to complain about the loss of it too much, just because I'm just kind of out here enjoying the decline. I mean, getting married in the West and doing the right thing is it's just a bad deal. It's not a good deal. What do you get if you marry like a Western woman? It's there's women are just communal creatures. Like they can't avoid the propaganda. Like it just sinks into them. The women absorb this progressive propaganda like a sponge. Um, they just so the chances of finding a quality woman in the West to marry is it's slim to none. I mean, even if she pretends, she puts on a good face to try and get you to marry her. You know, once the love dies or whatever, she'll start to become a headache. Um, you know, just see. Yeah. I'm on StreamYard. I don't know how to mod people on StreamYard. Um, but I'll have to do that another time. Um, but I definitely think the West is in decline. It's quite obvious. I mean, just look at how look at America. I mean, look at how it's just look at these riots. Look at these like people getting shot, like slums, like in Chicago. Isn't there like I don't know, don't like tens, and I'm not so up to date with it, but don't like 10 like in one weekend, like over sometimes like 100 people will get shot. Like this isn't the leader. This isn't a country that's like getting better. It's getting worse and worse. And it's just supposedly the number one economy in the world, but China's coming up. I mean, China is like MLD sent me a video of about some Chinese video where they're talking about overtaking America, like in really blunt terms. Chinese the Chinese used to have a law that required people, that it was in law that you could only have one child. That's how much they had to control. They had, because you know they had to control because their population is too large, so they had to have a law that would only allow one child. In the West, it's like you have to pay people to have children, because men and women like have had enough of each other. We're just like the propaganda has made women insufferable, like Western women insufferable. Like why would you do it? Like why would you? The only type of people that will get married will be the weakest and worst people. the worst kinds of men. Simps and betas and like low, people with a scarcity mindset. But the men who are are smart and are understand like how much of a bad deal it is, won't touch marriage with a barge pole. And every day we're seeing more and more women getting more and more say over their everything pretty much. So it's like taking away every day. They're trying to take away male agency and over their lives, and give females more agency. So it's not even about equality. So it's we can see it on dating apps where women have all the choosing power, and men have none. I mean, men use dating apps. They just swipe right. Most men just swipe right on everyone, especially average men. Only the top percent of men on dating apps would maybe be choosy. If a guy is, to be honest, I swipe right. She'd have to be kind of hideous for me not to swipe right on. I swipe right just out of curiosity, but the real top percent of dudes, like in terms of genetically good-looking dudes, would they'd probably be a bit choosier than the average male, let's just say. But yeah, that's a small percentage of dudes. But women can be even butt ugly. Less like even ugly chicks can be like. It's just funny. They can be choosy. They can be choosy about who they pick, because they'll match with like 90% of guys, 95%. And sometimes guys get into the comforting lies. They get into the blue pill kind of mindset where they think, oh, they try and comfort themselves when they're not able to do well on dating apps, when they they would what am I trying to say? When they're not doing well on these dating apps, they will pretend that, oh, all these women are just on here just to boost their Instagram or this, that, and the other. Unfortunately, that's just not true. These women are on these dating apps to get laid. It's just that if you're not matching with them, you're not doing it right. You haven't maximized your dating profile, or even if you have, you're just not in that top percent of dudes. So you have to resort to other means, by just improving yourself. Know Your Worth says, yes, Chicago is a shithole. Wow, in Chicago, 715 people have been killed this year. That is 227 more than 2019. I mean, this is supposedly in a country that has the world's biggest economy. Yeah, that's not gonna last. I mean, that kind of and then on top of that, you have all these massive scale riots, and unfortunately, America's definitely quite visibly falling. And once Biden gets in, it's done. It's done. Like, you're getting all, like, they're just getting all these they have these completely sexist what do you call it, hiring. They're hiring all females into the cabinet or whatever, and it's gonna fall to shit. It's gonna turn into a communist shithole. It already has, to be honest. Yeah, how can you live in a society like that? And that's just, I would love to know, what's the homicide rate in somewhere like China. It's probably very low. Probably extremely safe place. Christian says the U.S. is growing soft. Women are going out with soy boys, but stay the course, gentlemen. Let these women ruin themselves while we plot our ascent. 100% agree. Um, these women do go out with, these women tend to use these soy boys. Uh, you know, the soy boys get used. Beta orbiters. You know, I always go. I go out with these chicks and we start talking, and they tell me, they start telling me about their male friends, and I'm like, yeah, they're not your friends, and she's like, oh, they are my friends, I know, and I'm like, no, but like they want to fuck you, and when they act surprised, these women use these beta orbiters, um, but and sometimes they'll date these soy boys just to, but really, you know, um, they'll just, even if the girl is super hot, she'll grow to seriously resent that guy. And a lot of these soy boys will take it. They'll take the nightmare situation. They'll take being belittled and being insulted and being abused by these self-righteous chicks that think they just they deserve everything for free, and they just should have everything handed to them on a silver plate. Um, you know, uh, Kevin K says Japan has declined birth rates too. Japan has declining birth rates too, but that's kind of for it's kind of different reasons. I'm not exactly, I can't really say exactly why, but it's definitely not because men and women hate each other. Men and women definitely don't hate each other in Japan. It's more to do with kind of the work culture, and people are kind of, in a way, maybe Japan has become full circle. I mean, it's kind of, you know, like, the thing is, women in Japan still want to get married and have children, but I think maybe, to be honest, a lot of Japanese men have become kind of despondent, have become kind of soy boy like. They've just become very weak by their, I don't know what the reason is, but you know they're just too obsessed with their work culture, where they don't really have time. They're just kind of exhausted by these slave driven companies, where they think they don't really want to have to provide for a family or women. But it's not because they hate them, and it's not because women hate men. Women actually in Japan still definitely want to aspire to be mothers and have children. Um, uh, MLD says, here's a white pill. Top tier women aren't on dating apps. Yeah, I mean, there's like there's definitely tens on dating apps, but um, you know, uh, I don't know. It depends on how you define a top tier woman. I mean, there's plenty of tens on dating apps, but I don't know if they're you know they're not maybe a quality woman. I don't know. I don't really care because I'm not looking for a quality woman per se. Um. Yeah. MLD says the toxic work culture of Japan is the cause of their birth problem. Yeah, that's what I was saying. 100%. The work culture here is extremely toxic. I mean, Japan is like an amazing place to be if you don't have to work here, like, because you can enjoy the fruits of their labor. um but if you're part of the Japanese working society, it's it's not really a life. It's Japanese people, once they become a worker, once they join a company, the company is their life. Like, you know, it's just it's very common for people to work 6 days a week. Some people work 7 days a week. ridiculous kind of stuff. And even if they're working weekdays, they'll stay late. It's nasty, real nasty. Uh, but thankfully, the women here are still feminine. They're not, they're not. They don't have an agenda to take men down. The media doesn't. The media doesn't constantly belittle and try and berate men. Japan is a very strange country because, in a way, it's very conservative, and then in other ways, it's very liberal regarding its sex culture. It has the, people wouldn't openly talk about, normal people wouldn't openly talk about sexual stuff, but it's everywhere. I mean, they have the love hotels. You go into, there's all these sex shops around the place. You go into a convenience store. There's hardcore kind of really perverted pornography. It's weird. It's I kind of love it, to be honest. It's good. Let's see. Noiwar says, as far as I've heard, Japanese women who want to marry in general are after a meal ticket. Sex dries up. Yes, I've heard this too, and yeah, that is true. But this goes back to my point about monogamy. Like, if you're married to someone, if you're in a relationship with a woman for more than a year, for like, even, for me anyway, like if I'm in a relationship with someone for a year, and like, that means I'm going to be banging them at least once a week, at least, I'm telling, like, for me personally, and you're not going to be that attracted to them. Even men won't be attracted. The only guys that would be attracted to them after a year or two are guys with scarcity mindset, guys that are kind of don't think that they can get other women. And even those guys would still be looking around at other women and just be way more attracted to them just because they're different. So the thing is, a lot of cheating happens in Japan. A lot of cheating happens. That's what a lot of these love hotels are used for. They're used as places that people cheat, like married men, married women. Ask me how I know, because I've been to some of these love hotels with married women. It's like, it's a thing that happens. Yeah, it's just it's kind of, I wouldn't say cheating is accepted here, but interestingly enough, Japanese women don't see, if a Japanese woman, if a married man gets caught having sex with a hooker, his wife finds out, she'll probably just forgive him for it. It's a lot more acceptable over here for men to use prostitutes. I don't know. It's obviously not, you don't want to be using hookers, but it's kind of acceptable here. It's everywhere. Harry Zico says, being an employee is one of the biggest trappings in modern life. Work so hard to go nowhere fast and can only survive just to get by. Yeah, I mean, I've seen guys. I worked as a teacher. I still work as a teacher, but I remember I met this guy, and he was he's a full-time teacher, and he didn't have enough money for lunch. I was like, how pathetic is that? Like, you're working this job, and like, he was a hard worker. He's working as a full-time teacher, and he didn't have enough money for lunch. It's like a slave labor. If that's how you end up, like, you really need to consider what you're doing. Yeah. Dustin Lindsay popped in time to see MLG dropping white pills in the chat. Best way to spend my morning. Yeah, you can always do it the old white pill. Um, you know, uh, yeah, it depends on what you want. I mean, it's just if you're a high value guy, you're always going to be able to find a woman that will remain monogamous to you. But it's a thing of you know in general in Western society, um, monogamy is just becoming. It seems to becoming a thing of the past because marriage is becoming a thing of the past. Having kids is like a thing that is becoming a thing of the past. It's like I just wonder how things will work out in the future because I don't society can't really function if people aren't producing the next generation to run shit. Um, but I'm not complaining about it because by the time that comes around, I'll be we all we're all gonna die someday. But it's we're probably I think we'll definitely. I don't think it'll be that far into the future before we see some serious decline in the West because we're already seeing a massive decline in Western countries. But it's not you're not going to change it, and it's not like a black pill, but it's just like what are you going to do? Are you going to enjoy life, or are you just going to hark back to the past and think about how it used to be? And who knows how it used to be wasn't even that you know wasn't that fun. People were locked in marriages, unhappily. Uh, but now women have decided to throw all that good stuff back in our faces real badly, real like spat. Western women have really spat that all back in our faces. So it's like, okay, you made your bed, now you're gonna have to sleep in it. Because guys like us, we've woken up. We are like we have woken up. We're just gonna enjoy life. We're gonna have a good time, and it's a win for us. It's the biggest win for us because we get to indulge, pursue our we get to relentlessly pursue our innate desire without having as many responsibilities. Um, However, women, they're just giving it away for free, and um, they're not getting they're not getting to fulfill their because women are made to produce. Women are made to give birth. Men are made to spread the seed, but we're getting to spread the seed if you're red pilled and if you have game. But women are missing that boat in massive, massive, massive numbers. There's going to be a huge epidemic of depression amongst millennial women, generation, the new generation, just because they're going to have missed that opportunity to give birth. Time doesn't wait for anyone, but it is what it is. You know, yeah. Harry Zico says marriage, nah, fam. I'm good. I'm good on that one too. I'm definitely good on that one too. Um, I'd have to be getting something very, valuable to be getting into a marriage. Uh, the Haiti time traveler says pill popping housewives screwing the milkman. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good too. Let them do it. Just I'm not going to be stuck raising some other man's kids. That's not going to be me anytime soon. Some other man might be raising my kids, though. Who knows? We'll see. Anyway, guys, it's been good talking about the decline of monogamy in the West. It's going to continue to do so. Anyway, guys, as usual, like, comment, subscribe. I will be back here tomorrow night. I'm meeting a chick now. I was talking about her yesterday. She chances of getting laid appear to be very, very high. I'll let you know how that goes tomorrow. All right, guys, peace out. Wherever you're at, have a good one. Good luck.